So we have seen that the right number of workers to hire is 5 and the right level of output is 24. Now we'll try and get the same result in a slightly different manner. Typically, firms don't have that much information on costs and prices and revenues. So maybe we can try another method which will give us approximately the same results. So let's see. Now, when you hire an extra worker, the extra output that you get is called marginal product, right? Now, of course, you're not interested in just the extra output. You're really interested in selling that extra output and making some money. So suppose you go from 0 to 1, so you hire one worker. What is the extra output that you get? Well, 4. What is that extra output worth? Well, take the extra output, marginal product, and multiply that by the price, which in this case is 10. So the value of the extra output, value of marginal product, is 40. Now how much does one worker cost? Well, just the wages, which is 25. So is it worthwhile to hire an extra worker, just one worker? Well, it gets you 40 and it costs you 25. So yes, you actually make a margin or a profit of 15 on just this one worker. Should we hire the second worker? Well, what's his marginal product? 5. How much is that worth? 5 into 10, 50. How much does he cost you? Well, 25 again. So now you're actually making more money of the second worker. It's 50 minus 25. So it's definitely worth it. Is the third worker worth it? Well, again, what's his marginal product, which is 6. So he gives you 60 and he costs you again only 25. So the third worker is also worth it. What about the fourth worker? Well, now his marginal product seems to be coming down in line with diminishing returns, but it still gives you 5 units, which is worth 50, and which again is cheaper, which is again higher than the amount of 25. How about the fifth worker? Well, his marginal product is 4 and he gets you 40, so he's also worth it. But what about the sixth guy? The sixth guy's marginal product is only 2, and so he only contributes 20, whereas he costs you 25. So the sixth worker is definitely not worth it. So if you think about how many workers should you hire or where should you stop hiring workers, you should stop at 5 because the sixth worker doesn't add any value. So one way of thinking about the number of workers to hire, which in some sense is probably much more useful, is to think it along these terms. That to think that you should keep on hiring workers till the value of the marginal product is higher than the wage rate. When the value of the marginal product is exactly equal to the wage rate, that's where you should stop. Now, of course, it might happen that with some discrete numbers like these, that there is no point at which the value of the marginal product is exactly equal to the wage rate. But nevertheless, we have given you a simple way of finding out what is the right number of people to hire. Stop when you find the value of the marginal product is going below the wage. Now, we can look at this particular formula, price times marginal product equal to wage rate, in a different way. Suppose I write it like marginal product is equal to the ratio of wages to price. This simple formula actually tells you a lot about living standards and productivity. Now, on the right side, the ratio of wages to price you can think of as your standard of living. Wages is what you earn, prices are the prices of products, so the ratio of wage to price essentially tells you how much of goods that you can buy. What is the total value of goods that you can buy? And what this equation says is that the marginal product is really equal to the standard of living in that sense. So, if you were to think about how to go about improving your standard of living, this equation says, well, the only way to do that is by increasing your productivity. So, that tells you something, this simple formula tells you something quite profound actually. That tells you that if you wish to improve your standard of living, that is you individually or for the country as a whole, then the one way to do it is by improving productivity.